right, guys. Welcome to the 5th episode of the Phil Henry Show. We're here. What we decided to do, based on the limited viewership that we have and the feedback, we decided that we were going to have a once-a-month session with my wife, Stephanie, because I think one of the biggest challenges that, folks face is relationships and the complexities around having children, raising children, and being able to get that done and still be sane and not kill each other. What do you think, Steph?
Yeah, I think.
Are you awake?
Yeah, I'm kind
Wake
of
up,
awake.
hon.
I know.
We're on a show right now.
I fell asleep for a minute. No, yeah, I think that's a good idea. I think people struggle with that stuff daily, and they just try and survive.
When you say people, are you talking about us?
Well, yeah, I mean, it's pretty obvious.
It's pretty obvious?
Ask any of our neighbors or
friends. It's obvious from whose perspective?
Like, they're those crazy Henrys.
I mean, it is a little bit reckless abandon. I mean, I got to say, one of the things I guess the biggest thing that I can think of is that, we're both pretty high energy people, but there is a level of, there is a level of anxiousness in the environment at our house.
Yeah.
And I don't know if I feel like it has a lot to do with your personality, but it's a combination. I guess what's your thought there? Because I think women in general, I'll go right there first. I feel like women in general, right? In today's environment, you're home, I gotta be honest with you. Every lady east of the Mississippi's on some sort of calm me down medicine, and I'd like to know more about what's it like? Why so anxious all the time? Why so stressed all the time?
Did you have this topic planned and just didn't tell me?
I did
from
not.
The week we had?
I didn't actually. Honestly, I didn't have it planned, but I was just thinking we go through this period where we have this really good week, and I was away in California for a week doing that training, and I come back.
Ding, ding, ding.
Huh?
Well, when you're single parenting for 10 days.
Yeah, okay. That's fair. That's fair. Yeah. And you're trying to get so the root cause of it is, there's lots going on in our house. We have 3 kids. They're all active. They're all...
Yeah, so there's 3 different schedules on top of your own working schedule. And then a dog who's dirty in mud season. That's not very helpful.
Right.
But yeah, they all have different, even appointments, doctor's appointments, food, grocery shopping, making meals. So, we come home now and it's 5:30, 6 at night. And it's the other day you did it. You had the kids after school.
Oh, yeah. No, it was a fucking nightmare.
Yeah. So you come home and you're 6:30 and you're like, what's for dinner? I'm like, I don't know. This is your
dinner,
show today.
But I was just cooking dinner. I was getting all shit ready for the barbecue. And then I look around no one's around.
Where'd everybody go?
Well, no, it was Ella. And then Ella comes and says, can I get a drive to Brielle's or some lady? And I'm like, I thought I was cooking dinner.
She was going to cheerleading.
So I went up to your room and I said, I'm cooking this dinner. I went to the grocery store. I got all this shit. And now you're telling me I'm cooking it for myself. I don't need to cook dinner for myself.
Well, because you had to look at their schedules to see what their schedule was like. So really dinner had to be prepared that day by 5 because they all had activities they had to go to. So they all went and were like, where's dinner?
Yeah, you set me up for failure. That's what you did, and you laughed at it. You thought it was funny because you set me up for failure.
I just thought that it was a good learning experience.
Yeah, great learning experience. Yeah, it was awesome. My dad was visiting. He's like, "What the fuck's going on here? What's this family doing?"
Mad chaos.
Yeah, it is mad chaos. But I guess so. It's because I was away that that this occurred. But it does seem like it comes back in waves. I guess to be expected with 3 kids, but. Wouldn't it be nice to kind of try and maybe figure out how to address the root cause of it? Because if you don't address the root cause of anything, you just keep repeating the same patterns.
I think some people might not care if the house is clean, or they might not care about dinner. Well, I want to have a healthy dinner. I want my house to be cleaned. I want to work. I want to make sure all the kids' stuff is done. So I think you just have to so you can't keep up with that stuff. It's almost impossible. So the expectation is to keep it like that, and I can't.
So why do you keep the expectation there then? Because the reality is
I want it like that.
Yeah, but we were just talking the other day. We got this dog, right? Yeah, and again, it's just like
Anybody need a dog?
we're walking. Yeah, if anyone wants what is
cute.
this soft coated Wheaten Terrier?
Yeah.
It's all up to date shots wise, and you can
And
have
it's
it.
free.
But on a serious note, like that would be an instance where a guy like me is like has no clue what they're doing and what they've done wrong. So we initially look for the dog. I expressed to you that your personality type and all the things going on is probably not conducive to the dog. You want the dog, you get the dog. And then every day I come down. Yeah, I know the kids, but we're the adults, right? We choose. That's what's nice about being adults. We choose. But so we get the dog, and then every fucking morning it's like that fucking dog, that odd damn dog. Everything is about how shitty the dog is.
I mean, the dog's a good dog.
But I don't like
she's so muddy all the do
Okay, but you get where I'm coming from here? Like
Yes.
you got the dog, you chose because as parents we make the decision. I voted no, you voted yes. What happened? We got the dog. So that means my vote didn't count. Yours did. We got the dog.
True.
Every day now, you complain about the dog. So as a man in that situation, why is it that's like it's kind of strange that we're dealing with all this now because so express what would you say to someone in that like
Who was going to get a dog?
No, a husband that has personally didn't have any decision making ability there. And is living with it, and now this dog is creating more stress in an already stressful environment. Go ahead.
Well, I would tell him that maybe he should help with the dog, the family dog. I would say, hey, maybe you could say, well, maybe I'll take the dog for a walk once a week, or maybe I'll clean off his paws when she comes in the house.
That's really what you want me to do? No. The kids. You got the dog for the kids.
Oh, everybody's just going to listen to a bitch session.
And now I am going to take care of a dog that I didn't want so that you are now stress free. Okay.
Shut the pot off now.
I guess I'm starting to realize that there is no right answer there.
No, I think that in a situation like that, I mean, everybody wants an animal. The kids want an animal. The parents say, oh, the kids want an animal. So wonderful. We like dogs. So the family we need to do a better job making our kids do stuff.
Okay, so so we're transitioning to how do you get your kids to do stuff
in
today's environment?
I mean, it's challenging for that too. They go to school all day, then they come home for a short minute, then they go to their sports activities for a couple hours, and then they come home and have to do their homework.
So who's with me?
I don't really know.
As a listener,
I don't know.
I know. Well, that's why we're talking about this stuff.
Question.
But one of the things I will say, like, as I talk to other guys, it's like we're on two different sides of the spectrum in terms of what the kids should be doing. How do you keep them doing chores? How do you keep them well grounded and not spoiled brats when you can? And virtually, we're in an age where we can virtually. They don't really have to do much. I mean, they all have computers on their hips. They're walking around with phones. They have virtually zero chores. I think our 16-year-old has a car. He has to take out the trash once a week, which he probably does very rarely. Other than that, he's a great student. He's a great student. He's very polite. He does he's good. I'm not saying I'm expressing the fact that he doesn't do any chores. I mean, his room's a disaster. And then I could go to the other kids. And so when I feel like the people that I speak to, the wife typically tries to rescue them. Mm-hmm. Well, it's been, oh no, but Jacob's had a rough day. No, he shouldn't have to empty the dishwasher. That's you. Or, oh no, Preston. Oh, poor Preston. He had band practice this morning. He had to wake up at 6:30. So give the kid did you want another hot chocolate? I mean, I'm not joking. And as a guy, I'm thinking like, is there some sort of happy medium here? Maybe you could tell me, where are you coming from?
I think there is, but I think that typically the guy would say, get that goddamn dishwasher emptied, and they're a little like rough. And then the mom's not like that. The mom wants to be like, hey, do you mind? Or can you just please do that in the next hour or two? So it ends up being on the mom's shoulder because they don't want to yell and scream at their kids. So then they don't have enough time because they're doing other things. So they let it slide. Sometimes, even like today, this morning, like I was doing Jacob's closet thing, doing all the organization thing for it, building it, and you came in and said, Why isn't he doing that? Sometimes it's
or
just
at least helping. Why isn't he even helping?
Sometimes it's just easier to do it yourself and easier to be by myself in the room doing it with nobody bothering me.
No, I get
but
that.
I know it's
Steph,
not
but
the right thing to do.
No, I know, but
the
this
right
is
thing would have been make him to
that,
stay here and help me and not let him go to his girlfriend's house.
Okay, so why don't we do the right thing then? Sometimes.
Well, I don't really know. I mean, sometimes just like you feel like lazy and tired and overwhelmed.
Yeah, I don't know. I guess that's a tough one because I mean, you work so hard to raise these good kids, and they are great kids. It's just that when we know that certain things are the right thing to do, but it would be easier. I mean, listen, it's easier for you and I if we do everything around the house and not because it's a pain in the ass to say, "Hey, Preston, can you please clean up your room?" Clean up my room. I just cleaned it. Yeah, no, you cleaned it a month ago. No, I mean, I'm saying clean it again today.
Actually, people should write in and write some some tips. How do they get their kids to
actually, that would be
consistently do
wonderful.
chores?
Exactly, because I mean, especially to people like, you know, I guess from my perspective, like I know for a fact, like my psychological profile is one that I'm a big picture guy. I don't get into the details. I'm not a big detail. I take data and I summarize it. I take data and I summarize it, and then I find paths to get to another area without having to, and then I'm very high when it comes to like create and
okay. So
and I'm thinking I feel like you have a similar personality type is what I'm saying.
Oh.
And so that means you got two people that aren't very detailed. I mean, it's not like you have a calendar.
Oh, yeah, no,
You don't have a calendar in the kitchen that says, on day one, Preston's going to have the dishwasher.
Yes.
And every time you do, it gets ripped down and thrown in the trash by someone.
It's true. We do have good intentions often. And then they just like fall by the wayside. And then it just
disappears. And then the kids laugh now. I mean, they look at you.
Mom, you're going to start this.
We're going to have a family meeting at the island. Okay, Mom, go ahead. We'll like prep it. And I say, okay, Mom, go ahead. Put your hard hat on and pretend you're the boss. Well, what we're gonna try and maybe sort of maybe do is is get you guys to kind of sort of pick up your maybe slack a little. And I'm like, what kind of boss is that? Like, well, Mom, you're a pushover, and I'm not gonna do it. How's that sound?
If I typically ask them to do something, they do it.
No, I know, but
if I say, hey, go clean the kitchen, they go clean the kitchen.
Yeah, it's just the biggest thing though, Steph, honestly, that creates the biggest amount of conflict is that it's not repeatable. That's true. Every time, every week, every day of every week, we are going through this process. It's like, okay, Ella, can you clean the kitchen? It's not, she'll clean it for that instance, but it's not like she has a specific duty. Right. And that causes a lot of conflict because it's like, oh crap. I have to ask them again.
I think some of it too back in the day, it's like, I think back when I was in high school or something, it's like you kind of have the same routine every day. The kids these days don't seem like their practice schedules are never the same. The days aren't the same. And back in the day, I mean, it's like you went to school, right after school was your practice for 2 hours. You came home, dinner was on the table, and then you had to clean up after dinner.
Right.
And then go upstairs and do your homework. But now everything's all very random. So there's a lot of randomness going on. I don't know. I mean, lots of it's out of our hands.
Well, we got to, you raised the white flag.
I just threw in the white towel.
All right.
Is that the saying?
Well, you waved the white flag. But still, either way, it's the white towels and fighting. It's kind of fine.
But no. I think that maybe in a month's time we'll come back and tell everybody all the chores our kids are doing.
Well, we want suggestions. I mean, what works for people? I mean, this is one thing because this would be a place that I feel like we are failing.
Yeah, we're not the only ones who are probably
like
struggling.
We're like a 3 out of 10 on that.
I do think though these days having 3 kids or more is a lot.
It is.
You're kind of outnumbered.
No, you are, but I mean, I don't think if we had 2, I don't think that would change. We need strategies to implement. Right now, we're not implementing them.
Good point, Phil. That's a really good point.
Anyway, now I'm heated and aggravated. That's a good way to... What?
Me too.
No, you're not, are you?
Well, not really. I mean, I've been like that, I guess, all weekend with all these dogs.
Yeah, I'm being triggered right now, but... So, all right. So, kid thing. What else is going on in your life?
Well,
that you want to talk to the audience about? What would you want to see?
Well, I think this is your show, not mine, but
it is.
I don't know. Actually,
don't bust my balls on my own show, please. It's embarrassing.
One thing right now, actually going on
of listeners.
I guess the kids, they're busy, but we're going to start going to, Jacob's leaving. Our oldest is leaving next year.
Right. So empty nest syndrome?
Yeah, people seem so happy when their kids are leaving.
Really?
Yeah, I talk to people and they're like, oh yeah, they're going to college next year. I can't wait.
You're going to be devastated.
I know. It's going to be so sad. I've been thinking about it.
We're going to need more therapy than we already get.
I know.
That's
I've been
crazy.
thinking about it for months now.
So our
sad.
therapy budget's just gone up by 2.
Oh, dear.
Oh, my gosh. All right. Let's move on.
Doesn't it make you sad?
Well, yeah, it does. I mean, I think we talked about it. The biggest thing for me is that, you know, I mean, we talked about it all the time. And I talked about it when I was away in California to these all these wonderful young men that I was doing that training with. But yeah, when again, man, coming out of school, focused 100% on providing for my family for 10 years. So I did that. And during that time, yes, I was a complete hard ass, and a hard ass meaning like, you know, toe the line, got to do this. I was expecting certain things and the way that, and so, you know, again, this is just something that newly married men can learn from, and you don't have to do that. You can relax and just be more appreciative of your spouse and of the gifts that you're given. You're supposed to lead the family, but you don't need to lead by force. You need to lead by love, and that's something that I'm learning and I'm getting better at, leading by from a place of love and openness versus
true.
A place of force.
Actually, somebody asked me the other day. They said, "Oh, how's Phil?" I said, "Way more relaxed. You're not nearly as like."
Yeah.
You come in the house and usually it's like everybody's on eggshells, you know, like walking on eggshells.
Right.
And now it's very much more relaxed. It's good.
It's done a lot of work.
Yeah, good job, Phil.
Yeah. You know what a nice side effect of that is? I get laid way more.
That is true. That's what all men can think of.
That's true.
If they're way nicer,
if you change,
they do get more sex.
Yeah.
But
I was just what I was saying though on a serious note about Jacob is that there's, you know, carrying around all those years is that what you tend to do is you have as a man you find a way to so you only really have like 4 feelings originally if until you start to evolve into getting more, but you have like anger, shame, guilt, blame.
They're just bad feelings?
Well, on the negative side, yeah, you have some happiness, but you tend to beat yourself up about it. But I had a lot of shame, guilt, and that sort of thing from the leaving of the homestead.
Oh, right, yeah.
But anyways, but my harshness around Jacob, he was probably the main, you know, the firstborn. I don't know how to be a father, and
he got the most.
Yeah, and I'm trying to be
not abuse. I'm not going to say
not abuse, but I mean like harshness.
Yeah.
Like very. It's almost like I was a military dad or something for a long time.
Yeah, I mean,
is that
yeah.
You know,
Definitely.
like just expecting certain things to be done at certain times, and you know, and anyway, so
it was a one-way relationship.
Yeah, and so I have. So to your point, he's leaving in a year and a half. So I have very, very specific goals around getting that level of relationship with my oldest son Jacob at a point where it is far more deeper and open than it ever has been. So that when he does go off, he knows that I am on his team, and I'm you know, and that I've always loved him and will continue to always love him.
Well, it's good. He's going to be around for another 14 months.
Yep. Yeah. No, it's good. It's starting to.
No, your dad
morph.
said the other day he was leaving soon. I was like, he's got another year left, my friend.
Yeah, that's true. He does. Yep.
Sad.
I know. Yeah.
But it'll be exciting to see what they do.
It will be.
After they leave high school.
That is true.
Mm-hmm.
That is very true. So outside that, we have we've talked we've talked about a lot of stuff. I mean, we're talking about you being grumpy and creating anxiousness in our homestead, which is not healthy. Sure. We've talked about how I've been a bit of a military dad for 10 years, and I'm starting to work my way out of that.
Yep.
By being loving and more open and creating space. And so, and now I feel like, So we've covered the balance, the family balance, body, physical body. What are you doing on the body side? Your CrossFit. How do you feel about that? Yeah.
Good. I think that I could be more consistent. Ooh.
Okay.
Yeah, more consistent. I'd say. I mean, I eat pretty good, I would think, but I could probably drink less alcohol during the week. That would be good.
Yeah, that would be a good thing. I think we both need to maybe adjust that.
Yeah, I think that
it's on my goal.
The habit happens, and then it just kind of continues. But I think that, I love CrossFit. It's the best exercise program or gym that I've belonged to. Mm-hmm. And I'd like to get a little bit stronger, but it's hard, when you're getting old and you've got a few ailments, and
a few
or a lot.
Just kidding. That's a joke.
Shoulder, wrist,
hip, shoulder. Well, really, the only thing that's sore on you is your neck, back, shoulders, legs, knees, hips, and sometimes your back and your chest, and you have headaches.
Back. Right, that's true.
Other than that, you're good.
But I think it's hard to, you think back in the day when you were younger and, you were stronger, and it's hard not to push yourself in a stupid way.
Right. Yeah, so you got to know your limitations.
Exactly. So the past few weeks I've been working on that.
Okay. Well, what would you say that helps you get it done every day?
Well, I love going. It's really fun. So that's why I go, but and before, actually, most other exercise. Oh, that motorcycle's loud.
Well, I know Tim's like leaving with his Harley,
Tim.
man. Holy, thanks, Tim. Slightly distracting.
But I hurt myself a few weeks ago. Just my shoulder, just lifting too much weight. So I just when I go in there, I just think I can't hurt myself. I don't want to hurt myself, so I can't go.
Oh, all right.
Is that what you're asking?
Well, I'm just wondering, I think people are just wondering, on the body side, as a married woman.
Yeah, I think back in the day, I was always very
much creeping up to 40. Are you 40, right?
No, I will be soon.
I'm just kidding. I know that.
I know.
You're 40 soon.
Yeah, no, I think that as you get older, you just kind of as long as you're in good shape, and I would never before let myself eat ice cream ever or a treat or anything in my 20s, early 30s. But I think
except when you binge, I feel like it.
When I binge.
Well, no, I feel like that's what you were. No, but I'm saying that's what you. Let's be honest. That's what you did. In your 20s, 30s, you'd be you'd beat yourself up. You'd be real hardcore, and then I'd sneak into your car and you'd have 4 bags of jujubes under your.
Not
thing.
4, maybe 1.
Well,
you're being so dramatic.
Well, no, but I'm saying 3 empty ones from the previous.
Oh,
they just kind of
right.
You know what I mean? You know what I'm saying? That, but you would just binge instead of. Having a nice whatever, not being so hard on yourself every day of all day.
That's true. I hear what you're saying, and you've got a little piece of it there.
Okay,
you're being a bit dramatic,
clarify for
No, I think that I was so strict most of the time that I wouldn't let myself have anything. And then all of a sudden, I would fall off the wagon for 3 or 4 days and just be oh, screw it. Because it's hard to stay really
right.
To deprive yourself of everything.
So do you still do that?
No.
What do you do now then? I guess if you've adjusted that, right? That was your strategy before. What's your strategy now?
Yeah, now my strategy is just be, when I go and exercise, I'm glad, I'm happy with myself. And I think that, I want Ella to know that, I'm doing it to be strong and healthy. I'm not doing it to be skinny and, ridiculous like that. Okay. And so I think now if I'm really want a treat, then I'll eat the treat and move along with my life.
Okay. All right.
Yeah. But I don't do that. I don't keep myself so stringent anymore.
Right.
Yeah.
Okay.
It's hard to do that.
No doubt.
You only live once, right? You may as well have a glass of wine or 2 or 3.
Oh, okay. I guess there you go.
Yeah, just one.
Okay, well that's good. So, and then on the last front, so the business, how's your business going? You're starting to launch up your business. I'm going to put something on the website. So for those of you guys who understand, Steph's starting her real estate business, and she's working for Keller Williams. Has a great wealth of knowledge, and so we've been doing real estate for 10 years.
Actually, somebody asked me the other day how long that I've been, an agent for, which it's been. Oh, it was your dad who asked me.
Oh, okay, yeah.
Yeah, and
right.
I was I don't know, a little over 2 years now, but since we've been doing it for so long, in 10 years, it was really helpful.
Right.
To move into this space.
Yeah.
So
buying and selling for 10 years. And
yeah, exactly. So I feel comfortable.
Even though you kind of gave me the straight arm for the first few years. So we're trying to get all the resentment out on this one.
Oh.
No, I'm just saying, like, when I first started investing in real estate and you were like, sell it all.
Oh, yeah.
It's a pain in the ass. Sell it all.
It was a pain in the ass.
No,
I mean, you come home from work at like 5:30 or 6, and then we'd have to work all night long, too.
We would? Yeah.
Well, you would. I'd be home with the kids.
No, I'm just kidding. We did. Yeah, you got the blunt
so
of the,
no, was it fun? No, it wasn't fun.
No, it wasn't. No, and there were times when you would recommend or strongly recommend.
Yeah, getting rid of all the shit.
Selling it all and having a normal life.
Yeah, I mean, I understood and I saw what could happen, but when you're in the trenches.
What is a normal life, first of all? I was like, I just want a normal life. So sell it all. What is that? What is a normal life and why the fuck would you want one?
I mean, a normal life to me, because the way I grew up is normal, I guess. It's like, two parents or, one parent goes to work from 7:30 to 4:30 or something.
Punch you in the donut factory. Off to the donut factory.
Yeah,
Click.
It's like, then everybody comes home after work in the evening, you eat dinner together, and then you go in the backyard and you
Mom
play.
has her apron on. So, well, how's everybody's day? Oh man, you should have married someone else.
I realized that that's not what I wanted.
When did you realize that?
Well,
I'm
probably
wondering.
like, I don't know. I mean, quite a few years ago now.
Yeah.
Like once we got out of that really hard part.
Then you realized, okay, all right, keep the real estate stuff. I was just kidding.
I like it now.
I like it now. Well, I think, it's interesting to think back of the potential idea of cashing it all in early and
I'm glad we didn't.
Taking the stress out of our lives, but without stress you don't grow. That is the truth. I mean, really, without stress you don't grow. You can't grow from without stressing
I think there's a
your
happy
body
medium.
and stressing your environment.
Yeah, I mean, you don't want to be stressed out to the point where you have a breakdown or anything, but you do need some stress, and you need bad things to happen because it's just the way it is.
Without the dark, there's no light. There's no contrast.
It's very true.
You can't. There is no light. Light comes from the darkness.
Yeah, it's hard though to think. Nobody wants bad things to happen. So when you're going through it, it's hard to say, "Oh, it's so great that bad things are happening."
Well, no, you don't. It's hard to cherish it, but the reality is, it's kind of interesting. Like one of the things from a guy's perspective, and then we'll close this thing out, but. And I don't know what a woman doesn't necessarily, maybe they don't have it. I don't know. I haven't really talked to you about it, but in society, like a guy is like infinite. We have dark sides. We are like, we're primal species. We get angry. We want to fight. But some of that brings a lot of power to us. Like in the environment of business, in the environment of family, as leaders, we need some of that power. Right. And so, but a society has cut that power off. In society, you can't act certain ways. So we just push it down inside of us. But the reality is that is part of us. We are the dark and we are the light. Well, that's all of us as humans and as men. So the more as men we can be okay with that. Like, for example, we have during this exercise, we had a bunch of senior executives come in and we went into this kind of MMA gym and we had to do some wrestling and punching and stuff, and afterwards some of these guys are basically got to know a whole new side of themselves that they have been essentially hiding for many years.
Oh, you mean physically, being physical?
They're like that was fucking awesome. I'm gonna start coming and kicking.
Were they
shit
scared of you?
What's that?
Were they scared of you?
I did all right. But I'm just saying, because I've been doing that for a long time, not only just from a survival instinct, but I wasn't cherishing it like I would now moving forward. Mm-hmm. And the dark side in general, I feel like I am now more accepting of all of those dark thoughts and the light thoughts. But as a woman, what are your thoughts there? Like in general?
Of accepting the dark?
Well, do you guys have those kind of primal instincts?
I think that... I think everybody has the dark and light stuff. And I think that, some people are more physical than others. I mean, for me, going to the gym, I need a physical outlet. So that's something that's really helpful for me. And I've always done that. Do I feel the need to beat somebody up?
Or punch things?
Or punch someone? No.
You seem like that kind of girl.
Well, I used to be.
Yeah, what happened to that primal
I don't know. I think after having kids and stuff, I think I've toned down a little bit.
Or did you tone it down, or did you suppress it? There's two different things. Did it just naturally?
Actually, you know what? Maybe that's what comes out in my anxiety. Maybe
Yeah.
that's why it is. Oh my gosh! Wow. I bet you that's what it is.
I'm wondering if you actually got really fucking angry and like had a punching bag in the basement and said, "I'm gonna fuck you up."
Remember when I was going to the MMA for a
shit?
little while and I was like smacking shit and stuff? That felt really good.
We should try it. We'll let
Yeah.
everybody know how that goes. But I think there's something to be said for allowing your darkness to come out in the form of whatever it is. I mean, you can't.
I mean, that's a real fine
if you feel
line,
angry,
I think.
let it out.
Yeah, I mean,
but let it out in the right time. Because if you
Yeah.
suppress that, what'll happen is it will come out in the times when it's not. You'll take it out on your family. You take it out on your kids.
Yeah, I think though
you're
that
angry.
you don't have to do it by punching a bag or something. But even like the other day, remember I went into CrossFit on Friday and I got there just in time and I was close to tears because of the stuff going on at the house. And I almost left because I was but then after the workout, we lifted some weights and did some, really hard exercise. And afterwards, I was like, whew, I feel better now. Off I go.
Right.
Life is good.
Right.
So you don't have to do it by punching.
But I would be curious to see if you did start to punch stuff and kick stuff, if that actually and actually let your anger out. Like, hey, like I am living.
It's like
right
every
now.
house should have like this little
a scream room.
A scream room, yeah, and with a punching bag and stuff.
I love that. All
dark.
Right. That's a patent, folks. So anyone listening, it's already been taken. Please don't bring that to market. Well, listen, time's up. I think it's been good chatting with you today. We have a lot going on in the next few days to get ready for a trip, but thanks for coming in on Sunday.
Yeah, it's fun. Now off to bowling.
It's nice to chat, and yeah.
Thanks for having me again.
Love you.
Love you too.
Bye.
Toodles.
Bye.